series in Kansas City, things have gone so well that the Royals haven't scored a
pass with his team, and he's off to another good start. Vladdy's always had
in play of 421. That's a little high, but that's commonplace for Gausman. Tuesday against Detroit. Enjoy this one, everybody, and we'll see you throughout.
I'm Dan Schulman. The Blue Jays have taken 2 of the first 3, and with George Springer getting 2, look at those career numbers against George.
3-2 with a very high ERA, 6.75 for his career pitching against. So Eaton and Prado both have good, strong arms in the outfield.
And John Schneider's reasoning was he likes stringing those guys. Baby Blues and the Blue Jays in their road grays as we are underway here at Kauffman's. As the 0-1 is fouled off and a couple of strikes
in his career, Jordan Lyons.
But he's still out there. Another foul off by Bichette. 4 in a row.
The phrase turned the corner, and I thought by that.
And over towards right center now to haul it in. Normal small sample size alerts apply this year. He said, don't chase pitches out of the zone. And again, it's just 1 week.
They hit Major League pitching, and it's really.
Well, that was a good pitch by Lyles. A slider down off the outside.
Way, and he stays on it.
With Springer out and everybody moving up. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Field line, a fair ball. To second with yet another hit.
As Varsho, that 80-mile-an-hour curveball, and he's able to keep it fit.
And this one is going 7 for 9 with 5 homers and a walk. Off the wall. Coming in behind him, a 2-run
dugout. Vladdy had an opposite field.
2-0. Atcast says it would have been a home run in 26 ballpark. Guerrero is DHing. And Belt looking to get going. He is. And the 3-2 hit hard but foul. Hitting the ball harder than Matt Chapman. That is the list as well. Swing and a miss. Belt strike in the bottom of the first inning here. And Salvador Perez second to only George Brett for the most home season is Kevin Gausman.
Kevin Gausman had a good
games. And this one down the right field line, but back out of play.
And he's going to try to use his fastball. You can see last year's about 50-50 fastball splitter. Became too predictable.
As well. And there it is, a fastball at the.
He has that four-seam grip and finds that pitch, especially in this ballpark.
Again, the 1-2, fastball up and away, but it's foul.
Just have to read the hitter.
And there, a good splitter to get him, and back-to-back.
Start in right. Chapman and Bichette on the left side.
Salvador shallow center. Easy play for Kevin Kiermaier.
But what's underlying these results is the process. And look at, he said the biggest thing for me is trusting my teammates.
To follow through on, so far so good. And a lot of conversation in John Schneider's. And obviously that's a hard thing to do. Put up, and if other guys maybe aren't doing so and still growing, trusting the people behind him, as Arden said, as Danny Jansen, home runs are, all of those numbers are going to be there if he keeps with this.
Hander, as he made a couple good pitches to Jansen and him on the field. Played 160.
Who is, had some injury. But it's still into center, and Kiermaier is accelerating into.
Is the way they play, and watch Kiermaier anticipating getting to second base and the head first slide.
Territory, and dropped by
hand. But there's no reason to take a catcher's mask all the way over to first base, and then Bo would have had to hit an extra base hit.
Blue Jays always looking to take the extra. Liner to right, and that drops. And because Kiermaier hustled it into.
Especially with 2 outs, a base hit's going to. Boy, what a sequence of plays.
To his left is Dozier, and that'll retire the side. And it turns into a run eventually for the Blue Jays. Pasquantino leading off the bottom of the second for the Royals. And it's a ball.
Leaves on him, and it's a cool day, but
high 2-2. Gausman. He picks it up and flips it to first. He makes his way back to the mound. Manny Gonzalez, the home plate ump, a left fielder who's 2 for 11 with a home run so far this year. Fastball, and it's caught.
17 when he's pitching for the Orioles. In fact, Gausman basically is a 2-pitch pitcher, effective.
Left field, Varsho back into his right, and he'll make 2 guys have brought to this team this year, and it's one reason.
They were taking little tosses in 20 minutes. Just the two of them. And special people.
They are. I get told that every day. And he gets called a 2-run double in the first, which makes him now 13 for 24. Really more of a load, better weight shift. And strike 3 called to get him.
Well, I like that pitch so much better than the two-seamer.
We often see Matt Chapman right there between.
And on this road trip.
Past the mound out to Massey at second, and Lyle sets down anywhere in Ontario at BlueJays.com/50/50. And right down the middle, a fastball for a strike. And a swing and a miss. Gausman take
ball low in the zone. Oh, looks like a fastball, and then he'll.
It's a base hit. Kiermaier over to get it, and
To the plate, a little bit too high.
looking for his first hit of the season here. Pops it up for Merrifield at second. Here in Kansas City, Dan Shulman. And he's belt into foul territory, has room, and we can't wait to see the ballpark. It'll be a packed house with the Tigers.
Around from city to city, so I don't mind it early in the season. I can speak from experience about that. My wife always
went around. And he gets Jansen swinging. That is. Okay.
just under 7 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Right. Prado back at the wall. It is
Going 104 miles an hour, 400 from authority. They went a while before they hit their first home run, indicating that.
for Prado. Coming in, and he made.
And you know what? It's a special place.
Field, but in the end, a little bit too high and not quite
To 94, but he's also been like 89.
deep right center field. And Biggio comes in to make.
Been in a great spot, throwing a lot of strikes. I mean, he's doing a great job of pitching, and that's the key right there.
In the spring, and there's not always a well-located fastball again. It's
Every time Gausman delivers a pitch.
got him. Great movement on that split. Arden's Welling, the final game of 4. Blue Jays trying to make it 3 wins. Had a nice talk with Don Matt and pick his brain. Front of the plate, fair ball. I asked him the question because I thought he might give us this name. He said George Well. Launches one to left center field, and it's gone.
Easy slayer, and you talk about Don Mattingly, recognize that right away. So
Much at all. He's only struck out once now in 30
season, all season long. Vladdy had one.
3-2. Popped up and back out of play.
About it in a big ball.
Another pop up back of the plate and again out of play. And we've seen that from day one, taking borderline pitches. Matt Chapman 1 for 2.
John Schneider, some great tools to work with. I mean, they have now depth and versatility with Varsho and Kiermaier and Belt.
Closure. And a good throw to get Chapman and retire the
Side, so you have to do everything inside. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too. From the X, a lot of memories from those days, but most part at Rogers Center. But I think the new outfield area.
It's a great season coming up. Maybe not so much for the Yankee outfielders. No. You'll see it once he gets there. And he showed
Dozier with 2 down. And that misses for ball 4. Down in the bottom of the 5th. 65th pitch of the day for Gausman. And in there for. How about that? 95. First round of the playoffs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Center field, and he dumps it in there for a base hit.
part of the field, and it's a fine line. You
taking all the way 3-1. And but he's out in front a little bit and pulls it foul. He bluffs a start and stops, and Belt swings through it to
guy, but Perez, of course, a terrific defensive kick.
On Merrifield, who is chopper to short, and the play is made with
a hack against the left-hander Amir Garrett pitching for the second time.
And Biggio looks at a strike 1-1. Utility of Merrifield and Biggio give.
Going to stick with Captain for the time being.
Espinal by the way. And at the knees to get him. Day off. If Belt starts a game, but then a left defender, I would think. Then Luplow. Luplo's got a good arm, but he's
he's 29 years old. By Witt.
Different positions at AAA. Both of you plugging up the hole on the right side. This is one of these where if Arden was there and get a chance to watch drills on this field, it's the out. And ball 4 back to the bullpen, but he is the pitching coach again here today. Husband has, and he'll make the play himself. So 1 unassisted for the second. Pasquantino. Down to
His time was 84 miles an hour, like he took a
playable. Kiermaier fighting the sun, but he makes coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet.
But it really makes things easy for the manager, especially for
doubles in addition to the hustle. Is that because he's an outfield? Anything out of the ordinary left, that sort of thing. As he grounds out to second, 1 down.
Shit, an RBI with that hustle.
Left 3, Kansas City's left 4. 0-2 on Bichette. 2 coming from Quas. Flares it into center for a base hit. Look at those numbers. 400 average. Short, and Witt traps it, but it bounces away from in the first and has struck out in each of his 2 at-bats. Field, and that's going to drop for a base on third on his way home.
Early in the season.
Just shy of the track. Greeted to the bag and then heads.
Relay. There's the double clutch, the hesitation, and that allows for.
He is 1 for 3. And it's 1-1 on Merrifield. And that'll do it.
Serve a lot of innings down in that bullpen, and Chris Bassett made a great. The last team from their starters, the Mets threw against the White Sox in 2015.
Base hit up the middle for Olivares. That first homestand, April the 11th to the
11th again.
There's a base hit into right center for Michael Massey. And
lineup, and Kevin had handled this part of the lineup earlier. He knows he can throw it to anybody, and he's.
This one hit down to first. Belt has it, and they'll get the.
Here, hot shot, strike to second base, but.
And he got him. What a job by Anthony back for that young man.
Yeah, that's a tremendous honor when you.
Left field, but right at Olivares for the first out. 0-1 the count on Cavan Biggio. And Olivares makes the catch. Makes his second appearance of the season.
Now Trevor Richards will try to follow suit.
Gonzalez kind of called a halt to the line, heading towards the pole.
Obviously, it's a home run. So he has got.
And that's inside for ball.
Hands, and he's looking at the matchups and where.
Melendez on a single by Perez.
And first batter that he faced in that.
Waits. And the hit. 4.
Yeah, Mesa has to face this batter.
Varsho back, and he's got to play. Perez in to score.
The action after he contact for the ball at second once Bo got it. But
his right hand hitting Franmil Reyes, and that's why Jeff Ware has gone.
A left-hander Tuesday night leading on.
To run to get an out. Chapman looks the runner back and makes the play 1 down. Though he could be called back if it got to him. Get that far. And he does. He strikes out Prado. Is into the game. He is the closer for the Royals, but he has Hender to be discussed at the trade deadline in about 0-2 to Kevin Kiermaier. Tricky hop, but Pasquantino stays with it.
Saves. He got 6 for his career in 4 last.
To pitch pitchers 3 days in a row, and probably even more so this early. 3 for 4, including a home run.
Boy, he was all over
it a little bit. The 1-2 up into shallow left with the shortstop is back.
But he saved the game June 30th against the Rays.
hit, nicely picked by Chapman, and the throw in.
This time, taps his glove and throws him
back towards Cimber, and he'll underhand it on to Bell. And now it's in the season. And there it is, Adam Cimber, Kansas City.
Yeah, they got off to a fast start. They scored 2 runs. It's up his 7th career save, and the Blue Jays win the series.
Send it to Tim and Friends.